Hey, hello there everybody. How you doing again? It's just me, Carpo, sitting in my bus. I have a school bus, in case you're not aware, and this bus is going to take me and my family down to the woods so we can go camping this weekend to get the F out of Dodge because I have just been cooped up for too long. It's been a crazy year, and I guess I wanted to talk for a moment about the pendulum because it's been on my mind a lot lately, and I feel like if I don't just talk about this now, then I'll probably just let it pass by and it'll just be another discussion I wanted to have and didn't. The pendulum, as it applies to our lives, our personal lives, and our social situations, obviously the pendulum swings one direction then the other. And the whole point of using that as a metaphor is to imply that you may swing far to one side, but it will eventually swing back and balance itself out. Almost everything in life is polarities. This is one of the seven hermetic principles, and in my opinion, one of the most important. That everything not only has changed, but everything has an opposite. Um, it's usually the things that we're most resistant to, or the things that we're most attracted to, usually have an opposite, which we would call something disgusting or beautiful or good or bad. And there's all these labels, hot and cold, up and down, but they apply to so many things. The polarity is probably the biggest key that we just don't seem to pay attention to. And the reason I think this is important is because if we're not aware of polarity, if we're not aware of the pendulum swinging, then we might think that when it swings to one side, then it's over. We're done. You know, for example, a person goes into a depression for a while, and maybe they're feeling really anxious, maybe a lot of problems in life. Believe me, I've been there. Okay, I've had so many things happen to me in my life, and not even horrific things. I mean, so many people have had so much worse, and maybe I use that as a comparison to keep myself sane. You know, just because something happens to me doesn't mean I'm going to sit and complain about it, but it is important to at least acknowledge that these things happen and that we have downtimes in our life, and remember that we will pull ourselves back up out of it if we choose. And some people find it very comforting to be on the dark end of the spectrum and to stay there. Likewise, a lot of folks try to get their pendulum on the upswing and always stay, for example, positive and never see negative in anything and always make, the most of every situation. And this is a good thing, but it doesn't acknowledge embracing your darkness. And when people say embracing your dark side, it doesn't mean going out and hurting people or, doing illegal things or breaking laws or even your own personal laws or natural law, because that's not what most people want to do. Most people don't want to harm other people. It's not something that's, a given in society, at least with people I've talked to. Most folks just want to live their lives and be left alone. Sometimes we can't because we're immersed in this system that forces us to um, constantly acknowledge that there are other people trying to hold us back from doing what we want to do so they can do what they want to do. And so it's this push and pull, this duality, if you will, of nature, and something that you can't overcome. You can overcome as an individual and be aware of it, but you can't eliminate it from life. We're always going to be faced with shit. So as I sit here preparing my bus, I'm pretty overwhelmed. I haven't been out in the bus in like a year, since like last summer, and then my mom and my wife's mom passed away last fall, so we've been dealing with my wife's mom's house and working and trying to build our future up so we can get the place that we want eventually. And meanwhile, we have been neglecting one of the most important things, which is time away from it all. Time to go out and think. I should say, maybe time to not think. How many people don't even take the time to just relax? That people that are always busy, always on the go, and it seems like just sitting and taking times for ourselves has become something like laziness or a waste of time. That we're always rushing to get something done, but deep down inside, we know we need time to process. This is where, back to the discussion, I guess, as it pertains to, alchemy or to the Hermetic principles, to allow things to ferment, to allow things to process within the brain. Everything in life is a trial by fire, okay? This is what alchemy is. It's burning off the impurities to reveal this beautiful white philosopher's stone, which is an understanding of things as they are. It's not something that can be conveyed in words, but I think it's really important for people to acknowledge that just because we're having a bad day, just because we're having a bad week or a bad year, doesn't mean we should get sucked down by that. Don't allow it to create a jaded personality within you. You know, I see this happening all around the world. The internet has made it very clear that no, not that just we're going crazy because of the internet, but rather the internet has revealed the insanity behind the scenes. And I think people are finally starting to take note and notice these things that are happening, or that have been happening since the beginning of time, at least beginning of mankind, that we have a lot of things to work out as humans. What are our priorities? What are we working towards? You know, what is our goal? We can't agree on anything. But at the same time, within that extreme polarity, there are many smaller polarities which can be reconciled with one another, such as two people who have a different opinion but discuss it and share it rationally, and both of them are able to ferment and process the ideas and get something out of it and benefit both of them moving forward, rather than one person saying, no, you're wrong and this is why, and that's all there is to it. But it's not just debates between people or disagreements, it's disagreements in our own mind, with our own psyche, with our own true nature, our own feel of who we are. So, are you living up to your expectations of yourself, your life goals, your life dreams? That's a very difficult question to not just ask, but to answer for anybody, because you have to step back and ask yourself, what did I really want out of this life? What do I want? Do I even deserve to want anything? Or do I just let life happen to me? Because as I say, you know, if you don't make life happen for you, then things happen to you. If you don't make life your own, then it makes you its own, and you are just pushed along. And sometimes I felt that I'm just pushed along. I have to work a job to make money so I can pay my mortgage. I have to, you know, do all these things to be a human, but it doesn't feel in my heart like what human nature honestly is. And I feel like that's what's getting a lot of people down. Not the work that they have to do. As a lot of folks say, you know, oh, people don't want to work. No, they just don't want to work menial, pointless jobs. It's not that people don't want to work, and it's not that people aren't kind. It's not that people don't care. It's not that people aren't, you know, don't want to believe in something greater than just the individual. But nobody's giving anybody a reason to. The things that we tell our kids in school, we don't live by as adults. It's something that's always bothered me. This idea that we raise our kids and teach them to be kind to one another and share and express themselves calmly, and to, you know, interact and actually discuss things with people, to try to work out our problems, and to not be selfish, and to basically raise to treat others with respect. The golden rule. And then we become adults and we say, oh, that was just all bullshit. That's just to keep our kids in line. Now we're going to go out and do cutthroat business tactics and whatever it takes to get ahead and move forward, and people feel cheated. The people who remain honest and remain kind through their lives finish last when it comes to finances, but not when it comes to mental acuity and awareness and comfort. In other words, I know I do the right thing as much as I can. I fuck up. We all fuck up. I do my best to remedy those situations, to improve upon them. I'm not a perfect person. Nobody is. It would be horrendous if everyone was, and it would be horrendous if even one person was, because it would give us a scale that we have to live up to. But even then, people are different. We need, you know, people who bake cakes. We need people who make bicycles. We need people who make school buses. And everybody has their different interests and intrigues, and this is what makes the world so beautiful, is that everybody has their own path that they're living. And we try to homogenize people this is what you should be doing, that's what you should be doing, and it wears on people. So I guess my message here is, don't lose hope. Don't let the bullshit that you hear on the internet, or the bullshit you hear from people at work, or the bullshit you hear from your family or anybody else take away from your true knowledge of who you are, or at least who you want to be. Because deep down in our hearts, if we listen, we take time to listen, we hear the messages that we need. They're going to come symbolically, they're going to come in forms that we might not understand. They might come in synchronicities, aka coincidences. But as said, the ears are, the word is there for those who have the ears to hear. This is something that goes back thousands of years in many different belief systems, that if you're willing to ask the universe for guidance, call it God, call it what you will, it doesn't matter. We've become so petty at labeling the names of gods and trying to understand where we come from, that now it's a debate about whether or not there's anything at all, rather than which God we should believe in. None of that matters. If you're spending your time arguing truth that cannot be reconciled, then it's just a waste of energy. But when you feel something strongly in your heart, you feel a calling towards something, don't negate that. And don't think of yourself as a fool, because you might be outside of the norm, and you probably will be. Because I believe if a human being is living true to their nature and doing the things that they should be doing, they're not going to fit in with society very well, because society doesn't operate that way. And that's okay. It's much more difficult to find people who are of like mind that you can relate to. And I know that because I don't have many friends. The friends I made growing up, I'm so grateful to have, because as an adult, meeting people that are like-minded has become much more difficult. But what I've realized is, even my friends aren't like-minded. We are different people, but we connect on certain levels of things, that the underlying foundations of truth, of being a nice person, being kind, as my buddy says, watering the friendship garden, taking the time to care about one another, and watching each other evolve in this lifetime. And a lot of folks don't have any of that. They have nobody they can bounce ideas off of. And it's hard for us to see a reflection of ourselves if we've never been honest with ourselves. And we don't have anybody else to give us an opinion on who we really are. Because ultimately it's the same with the consciousness problem. You can't study consciousness being conscious, just like you can't study yourself being yourself. But you're ultimately your own worst critic, and ultimately your own best friend. So I think it's important that we take the time to do the things our heart tells us. In this case, taking the weekend to go camping, just to sit in the woods, take the kids out. Me and the wife and the two boys are going to go out. My oldest son is down at the country fair, and we were going to go down there, and actually he's playing a concert down there at the Shady Grove, or Shady Rest campground, which is part of the Oregon Country Fair down there. They have several campgrounds, and we were going to drive the school bus down there, but the tickets, it's just too much trouble. It's too much money, gas, and time to get down there, and they didn't have any spots left in the campground. We didn't plan ahead because we've been so busy doing shit. And this morning, my wife and I are just like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? I mean, we've wrestled between going to work today at our mom's, to finish the house so we can get it back on the market, or to go to the country fair, or to go camping. It's like we feel guilty going out and doing fun stuff because we have so many things to do on our plate. And that comes down to that part of society, the grind, like we have to get this done. But do we? Is your mental comfort and your mental well-being more important than the well-being of even finances or your financial situation? Because some of the poorest people are some of the happiest. So it's not about the money, obviously. In fact, more money, more problems is something that only people who have had extra money understand. The more money you have, the more you're worried about it, and yeah, it may be great to have a few properties that you have to, but then you have management, and you have to deal with these things, and you have to actually worry about whether or not people are destroying your property or ruining, more of the crap that we have to hang on to and guard, the more difficult it is for us to let down our guard and just go out and explore and enjoy the world. No, not always. Everybody's unique. Everybody's got their own situation. But for me personally, I want the simple life. But I still enjoy some of the things that, the Industrial Revolution has brought. So I'm not going to deny that without all this crazy, senseless progress, we wouldn't have come up with something like, Bluetooth headphones that I can put in and listen to, crisp, clear audio of my favorite bands, which have recordings and, different ways to listen to our music, because music's a huge part of my life, or art mediums, things like that. I'm grateful for the things that we do have, but just as much as sitting down at a computer and recording a song and doing all the post-production and everything and recording it down, it's just as important to pick up a guitar at the fireside and just play a random song that nobody ever hears again, or just to build a little rock pile, or a little hut in the woods, a sweat lodge like my friends and I built once and used it, and it's probably still there. The little things that we do spontaneously spur the moment that matter to us. So it's a matter of taking the time just to do something, not for the sake of it being noticed, but for the sake of our own mental well-being, that we are creative, these creative beings that I believe have an eternal soul, if you will, that we all come from the ether and we return to the ether. We get really wrapped up in the day-to-day activities of life, and we forget to live. So that's my advice for the day, is to try to live as much as possible, in spite of the bullshit that might be happening to you. And don't think that anybody else isn't facing the same problems as you are somewhere. And some people even worse problems. Some of the folks that you might think are doing great might not be doing great. It's easy to put on a smile. It's easy to pretend. And we all put on many masks, many faces in our lifetime. But if you get right down to it and you talk to people, there's something missing. And I believe it's that natural connection, the connection to our environment, which has been lost. Which is why, now that I turn this camera off, I can actually get to work cleaning my bus and getting ready to go. So, thanks for listening. This is my mess that I have to deal with here. Got my bed back there and my storage down there and the couches on the sides that pull down into a bed. And it's a nice little bus. It's like a 21-footer, 22 feet. But, here's my old 1993 dashboard station with all my weird lights and fans and, yeah. Whoop. It's got a little door closer. Uh-oh. I guess I better see if it starts. Oh my goodness. I don't even know if the battery's dead on this thing. I haven't even tried it. Because you know what would really suck? Is to get all ready to go and find out it won't even start. Uh-oh. Looks like that's going to be the case. So once again, the pendulum swings. And I'm going to have to figure this out. Now I have to charge my dual battery system and hope it's ready in time to leave. What do you do? What do you do? Thanks for watching. Try to see things in a positive light if you can. And I'll talk to y'all next time. Be well.